Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have a brand new episode in our card Spotlight series in which I look at a card that I feel is underplayed or underappreciated in Commander and discuss its merits. But before we do that, just a quick reminder to please click subscribe if you enjoy these videos. It's the only way the YouTube algorithm really notices me, and we're currently growing the channel and it helps me a lot. Much appreciated. And today we're going to be talking about one of the coolest cards to come out of Phyrexia, all will be one, and this is a super powerful set, but we have Ichormoon Gauntlet. For 2 colors and 1 blue, it's an artifact that says planeswalkers you control have 0 loyalty, proliferate, and -12 loyalty. Take an extra turn after this one, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose a counter on target permanent. Put an additional counter of that kind on that permanent. So this feels broken the first time you read it. It is a very, very strong ability. I'm not really sure why this needed to be made in the exact wording it is, but it's going to be very interesting, certainly for any Super Friends deck running blue. So I'm pretty sad that this can't go in Karth the Lion, because I think that's a fun deck, and I would like to have put this in there, but this is going to be really, really strong in any Super Friends deck, basically. So it's giving all of your planeswalkers proliferate, which is something you want in Super Friends. And then the -12, which is taking an extra turn after this one, is just so good. It turns even average planeswalkers into just absolute machines of taking extra turns. So obviously this is going to go in any deck with a bunch of planeswalkers in there, and if you have like 3 or 4 planeswalkers out, it's just so easy to go infinite with this. But not only that, there's basically another ability on it, which means that every time you play a new planeswalker or anything non-creature, which is going to be most of the cards in those decks, you're going to get like a mini proliferate effect. You're going to get to put a counter on one thing instead of all of your things. It just really grows exponentially, and it's just obviously going to be very, very easy to go infinite with this card out. It's basically a kill on sight card. Why is that? Because if they have any sort of board state, you can just keep proliferating your planeswalkers and keep the highest loyalty one to use the -12. Now, this combos very well with a few specific cards as well. Obviously, it's going to combo really, really well with anything that has proliferate on it. That's a lot of stuff. But with something like doubling season, this is immediately going to let you hit the 12 a lot of the time, and many times your planeswalkers are even going to live, which is going to be really ridiculous. If you can just get an extra turn once, you should be able to win from there. So this just feels like it's a very dangerous design because it has the enabler and the payoff both in the same card with an extra ability tacked on as well. There's also the combo with Gideon, Champion of Justice. Now, if you don't know what Gideon does, it's not surprising because he's not a very famous card and he hasn't been very good ever, really. But he might just be good in this deck because he's going to come in with 4 counters, and then he's getting an extra counter for his +1 for each creature target opponent controls. So that means he has 5. As long as you have an opponent with 8 creatures, it's very close to infinite just with these 2 cards. You don't need anything else on the battlefield, right? So that's going to be really, really powerful. But obviously, in a deck that wants Ichormoon Gauntlet, you're going to have other planeswalkers as well. So Gideon is just the easiest way to get this going. But doubling season can do it too. Pier is obviously going to be really good in this deck because he's going to let you get an extra counter with all of your stuff, particularly with your proliferate effects. It's just going to give you another counter. So there's just too many ways to make this really, really good. It just feels pretty insane if it doesn't get removed. Of course, it's an artifact that can be easily removed and all of that. All the typical stipulations apply, run removal. But it just feels very, very easy to get this to go infinite, particularly since you're not really giving up anything. This is not simply a combo piece. You can totally run this out for value and it's going to be absolutely fine. Just being able to proliferate or even just having the second ability is going to be totally fine. So the deck's not giving up a slot to play this. You're still playing a really great card. You're not sacrificing anything. Just feels like all upside, and then sometimes you just get to randomly win the game. Don't know, for me this is a bit of a sketchy design, but this set is really pushed and there's a lot of these designs, so I guess we'll just have to see how it goes. So there you have it. That has been our card spotlight for today. What are your thoughts on this card? Let me know in the comments section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care. Woo!